Welcome everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're joining me and the rest of the group for Faerie Awakening. It's happening, it's starting, we're ready for our journey, our bags are packed and we're off to explore the realm of fairy. Are you ready? Yeah, I thought so. Let's go. So, week 1, Faerie Awakening, welcome to the course, and thank you for joining me and thank you for joining the rest of the group in what I really hope will be a wonderful adventure for you, a really sacred journey, an enjoyable journey, and a healing learning journey for you all. As we venture into fairy, find fairy guides, connect with all the different elements of fairy. Well, maybe not all the different elements of fairy, but many different elements of fairy. Make new friends in the human world and the fairy world, and maybe discover more about ourselves as we journey through the other world. If you've had whatever experience of fairy before, this could be your first experience of working with and connecting with fairy energy, or you could be someone who has been really in love with fairies for many years and really connected with them and journeyed with them over and over. It doesn't matter. This course is open to all of us, and we all stand here at this portal at the beginning of this course in a similar space with bated breath, waiting to begin and waiting to open to the fairy energy. And what I love about this course, and what I love about working together all over the world, because we've got fairy lovers from all over the world here on this course, is that we're all holding space. We're all creating sacred space in the ether with each other. We're all working together, and the energy is going to be really strong, I feel, between us all as we move through this course. So, let me share with you a few things about the course, what's going to happen, how we're going to be working, and how you can get started. And I really hope you're as excited to work with the fairies as I am, because I know they are very excited that you're coming to play with them. And they're very excited that you're here and you're ready to see them and share your experiences with them. Now, I say see. How many of you out there have seen a fairy? Maybe some of you have. But more likely you're thinking, oh, I think I might have seen one, but I'm not sure. Or, no, I don't think so. That could be more than likely the answer. Fairies, it's very hard to see them with our eyes. It's very hard to see them in the physical 3D realm. Not at all impossible. But when we do see them, they can be a flickering in a moment. They can appear and then be gone. We often see them in the in-between. So when we're maybe half asleep, when we're waking up, when we're in a meditation or a journey, maybe when we're feeling poorly and not quite with it, we often see them in those in-between states, and we, maybe in a meditation or a shamanic journey, suddenly they appear, a light that flashes or something that manifests, and we're like, wow. We might see a change in the light or a sparkle. We may see a movement in the corner of the room. There are plenty of ways in which we can see fairies, but the most powerful and most important way to see fairies is with our heart, to feel their presence, to know in our hearts that they're alive, that they're there. The way to fairy is through the heart, is through the senses, is through love. And if we open our hearts to the fairy realm, we will attract some beautiful, wise, fun and bright fairy beings to us. So I'm really excited about seeing our journey and what's going to happen. The word fairy itself, in the worksheets that we have this week, I go into a lot of detail about what a fairy is, even though they hate that question, or they find it amusing, and what a fairy isn't and how to connect with them. But in a nutshell, fairy is a huge umbrella term for so many different beings, from elves, gnomes, winged fairies that we visualise from stories, gnomes, to brownies, to pixies and sprite and spriggans, to selkies and salamanders, to the huge winged beings that span across the sky and spiral out into the galaxy, to the tiny fairies around the house who tangle our hair, trip us over, and potentially steal our crystals and keys sometimes as well. A little giggle when we're running around, tripping over our shoes and unable to find the keys. This is the umbrella. What I often feel is when we use the word fairy, it's like if someone saw all the planet Earth's life, and saw the planet, witnessed the whole planet, and just saw a crow flying across and thought that everything in the planet was called Crow. You know, it's a little bit like that with fairy. Fairy is an old word, but it's a powerful word, and we like it. I think it works. Some fairies don't like being called fairies, as we see in the worksheets. This is about going with your gut and being polite and respectful and seeing what works. But I think if you come through with an honest heart, respectful and kind, generally you're going to be okay. So also, fairy is the place, it is the other world that we're going to be exploring, the other worlds. The different myths and magic, the other worlds exist just beyond the veil. We often feel their presence on misty evenings, or at those peak points in the year, Samhain and Beltane, which will be, well, next week for a lot of us here. And yeah, and it's at those times when we sense the other world growing near, the veils growing thin. Like I could almost step out and touch the other world. The fairy realm is beckoning to us. So that is why I thought it was a great time to start the course, as the veils are thinning and as we feel through those swirling mists or through those bright dewy mornings, that we could just step forward and feel in our hearts the other world, the fairy realm, the creatures beckoning us. The other world is a feeling as well. It's something we feel when the magic really takes us over, and we'll be experiencing that hopefully a lot over the coming weeks. So this course is obviously dedicated to exploring fairies, fairy beings, fairy creatures, fairy guides, fairy kings and queens, different aspects of fairy, but also to be exploring the places. And we do that often by doing meditations and journeys. And throughout the course, each week there'll be a journey meditation, which is usually about 10 to 20 minutes long, in which we immerse ourselves in the topic of the week, the different aspects of fairy we're looking at in that particular week. This week is opening to fairy connection meditation, so we'll be starting to open the way and see how we are connecting to fairy, what fairy creatures are there for us, and getting those first steps into connecting with the fairy realm. Each week you will also receive a video, a little bit like this, and you'll be receiving copious amounts of hopefully what you'll find rather pretty handouts. I do love a handout. Those handouts will go into depth with the topic of the week. Also be looking at homework, journal prompts, craft projects as well. So we have 2 days in which these come out each week. Monday is video and handout day. Thursday is meditation day, and also maybe extra projects or extra bits of homework that come up during the week. So we've got 2 handout days on the email, and that will be Monday and Thursday. Now, as I say, this course is 7 weeks long, but that does not mean you have to complete the course in 7 weeks. I do enjoy the intensity of the work in the week, the 7-week period, but I understand life is not always like that, and it's absolutely fine. You can do this course in 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years. It's completely up to you. This is your journey. It's about you, your healing path, your exploring path, your spiritual path, and your path of joy and fun. So make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on yourself. You're doing what you want and that you're enjoying yourself, but not that it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm late, or I should have done more by now. No. There's no should. There's only love. There's only enjoying what you're doing and exploring your journey at your own pace. Everything on this course will stay with you for as long as you need it. So you have the videos, you have the meditations, and you have the handouts. They're all yours. They're all yours to keep. So you work through it in your own pace. If you'd like to keep up with the pace of the course, that'll be fabulous as well. And one great thing about the course, I find, is the community spirit. And that all happens on our Facebook group page. So on the Facebook group page, I hope, will be sharing our explorations, sharing our thoughts, our meditations, our findings, things that inspire us, maybe our walks in nature. In previous awakening courses, we've had some beautiful community energy there. Friendships have been made and lots of fun has been had, and I know that with this course we have some of my awakening gang joining us, so I know it's going to be a lovely space to hang out. So if you're new to the course, to my courses, do feel free to be open and to enjoy that space, because it is a really lovely energy, and I think it's nice to share and maybe get ideas, inspiration from other members of the team. And that brings me to if you have any questions at all. So if there's anything you want to ask, or anything you feel stuck on, or anything you'd like to share with me, something that came up for you that you feel like you'd like to know a little bit more about, or get my opinion or help with, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can contact me on the Facebook page, on Facebook, or at my email, which is on the worksheet. You'll have that this week, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But I'm looking forward to sharing all of this with you. And this is going to be a journey of really trusting your intuition, trusting yourself. The fairies want to connect with you, and fairy energy is about sovereignty, being in your own power, trusting yourself, allowing your intuition to grow. Now, we're going to be looking at oracle cards as well, and oracle spreads as well, divination throughout the course. And I did pull a few cards about our journey together before I did the video. And they're quite fun cards, and these are my favourite fairy cards, the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. So the first one I pulled here, in number 31, is the undressing of a salad. I like this. The impossible is possible. Or is the possible impossible? This is a time of the gates are open, things are beginning, and now it's our journey. And it really is ours to make of what we wish. We may be feeling like, how can we connect with fairies? How can I journey into fairyland? But what may seem impossible may well be very, very possible indeed. It's a new beginning, it's a new start, it's all happening, and my oh my, the fairies are most definitely hanging around us at the moment and wanting us to be there. They're calling upon us, the fairy guides, the fairy friends, for many reasons which we'll go into over the 7 weeks, but they want us to be awake to them and to have that connection, because it will not only help us to be healed, to be open, to feel that connection, to be joyful, it will help the fairies on their path and their task, and help the planet as well. The next card we got is Mike the Myromancer, or Mick, or Mike. Mick probably say Mick. And this is about patience. So this is the problem we often have with ourselves in these situations, isn't it? Everybody else has a better journey than me, everybody else is doing better than me. We always compare ourselves. Please do not. Wherever you are in this course, Mick there is there saying, take it slow. Look at the details. Really go in on the small. He loves the details. The small things in life. The veins of an ivy leaf. The counting the petals on a pansy. He loves to look at the patterns on stones, and watching how the tide comes ashore in ripples and counting the waves. It is the details, it is the magic. If you can take the time to really feel the energy of a stone on the floor, then you're on a really good path to connecting with the natural world. So you may be asked to slow down a little bit in some ways about on this course, to really ground and to connect. But there'll also be, without a doubt, a chaotic fairy energy going on. And what I loved was the third card that I picked, the Singer of Healing. How perfect is this? So we have the crazy fairy realm of impossible energy, the deep earth, and also the cosmic energy, the gateway to healing. The singers in this are the more cosmic beings of fairy, the healers. And this is about opening our own hearts, allowing ourselves to shine our own bright light and to share that with others. So there's some lovely cards. Maybe you'd like to pick some cards if you feel that way inclined, or you're into using cards to see how the course is going to go for you or for the group. And do let me know if you do. So in this week, in this section, in this bit of homework, we do the introductions, and the homework is all about creating sacred space and creating a safe, gorgeous place for you to connect and honour the fairy beings. So we're looking at fairy altars in the home. This could be a shelf, this could be the top of a bookcase, or you may have a cabinet dresser that you want to make into a magical fairy realm or a fairy garden. You may want to make your altar outside, in your garden, on your balcony. The choice is yours. As long as you feel comfortable and happy sitting in that space and being in that place, then it's really, really right for you. So have a little think about where, and ask the fairies as well, where feels right. Where's the fairy altar going to be serving its highest power and good for you? And then it's time to start creating it. It's a really fun thing. I love making an altar, putting yourself in the right mindset, putting yourself in the right space to be open to fairy guidance and seeing what what belongs on that altar, what feels right. Traditional objects, things like crystals, candles, etc. But with fairies, it is about going out there into the wilds, finding that leaf which just looks so beautiful, that stone which seems to speak to you, that crystal that shines in a special way. It could be a feather that floats down on the breeze which will speak to you. And these objects can also bring messages for you as well. Found objects, when you're out on a walk, especially on a fairy walk, can be very, very powerful messengers for you. So now is the time to start creating this space. You can start it off really small and build it over the next 7 weeks. A place where you'll meet to honour the fairy beings, to give offerings, to ask for guidance, to do meditations, and to maybe share your thoughts and feelings, poems, songs and letters with them. The more you use an altar space, the more you connect, the more alive it becomes. So when you visit a space like an altar, you feed it, you give it energy. When you don't, and you don't put energy into it, they kind of lie a bit flat. But when they are fed with your love and a bit of devotion daily, then they can be really alive and wonderful spaces. So now is a time to start thinking about your fairy altar, whether you've done many altars before or if this is your first altar. This is a time to start picking up the bits and bobs and feeling your way in what the fairies would like there. And also this week we're looking at starting that connection by writing a letter to the fairies, to opening up that line of communication. A letter's great. It's really, I think, powerful and important to write down your intention when you're setting out on a journey like this, and to be open and honest, and the more if you're writing a letter, you're giving yourself a space to really reflect on what it is you're feeling, what it is you're wanting, and how you want to connect with the fairies. There's a lot more information about that on the worksheets. So it's really opening up this week, getting that energy flowing, finding a space for you to connect, and maybe starting to write that letter to open those lines between your world and the fairy world, creating that bridge. That's what we're starting to do this week. This is going to be an ongoing thing each week, but exploring nature, going on fairy walks. As much as it's amazing to have altars and meditations, it can be those experiences we have when we're in the wild and we're wandering the woods and we are sitting in a place which feels very powerful in nature. That can be when the real magic happens. So it's an ongoing thing. Put your walking boots on or something you feel really comfy in and get out exploring as much as you possibly can, as much as what's right for you as well. And set your intention to be open to the fairy realm and fairy messengers, as you embark on your journey. So much more to say, but I'm going to hold back because we've got 7 weeks and I don't want to overwhelm on the first day, as I know I can sometimes. So we've got the worksheets. I hope you really enjoy them this week, and I will see you all on the Facebook page. Do come and join, chat, introduce yourself, share images, ideas, pictures and thoughts, and I will then be sending you out the next handout on Thursday with our first meditation. So really, I am so happy you're here. The fairies are happy you're here. Let's go through that portal and journey together into the realms of the Fae. Much love to you all. See you all really soon. Bye.